Hi, my name is Josh Wilson, and this is my COM 430 leadership interview. I chose to interview a colleague with whom I've worked for nearly 10 years and who spent the early part of his career as a follower/subordinate. So I wanted to learn from him his unique perspective on how he views the leader-follower paradigm, how his perspective changed the way he will follow, and how he chooses to lead going forward. I wish to discover what Casey Belmont has found to be the biggest challenges with leading a group of adults with unique personalities. Finally, I wanted to learn any tips or suggestions that Casey may have for followers that are seeking to enter a supervisory or leadership role. Since Casey was a subordinate for the most of his career leading up till now, he felt like he has a better understanding of the areas a typical employee needs support. It seems like leaders are often preoccupied with the tasks that seem valuable to them, but they don't always notice the things that followers value, and they're usually very much different. He went on to say that it is essential to spend time in a subordinate role before taking on any leadership position. You must be able to understand the work that a subordinate does in order to lead effectively. The best leaders that he has worked with were those that lead by serving. They were always the hardest working people, and you wanted to match their work ethic out of a desire to help them, rather than because you were told to. The relationship in Casey's example was most closely related to referent power, a method Casey himself employs. As someone who observes Casey on a daily basis, I believe he has done a good job filling those shoes. Casey has expressed a desire to be the kind of leader that cares for those he works with and makes sure they understand he sympathizes with their challenges and wants to support them as much as he can. His genuine approach to leadership is refreshing and exemplary. And given the number of leadership styles that we have presented, I posted a few to Casey, and he remarked that he also felt that laissez-faire is another worthwhile approach. In his opinion, a positive view of laissez-faire would be that you trust the employee or subordinate to take care of their responsibilities without specific direction or micromanagement. And I followed up by asking him whether he was continually refining his approach, in case he made it very clear that trying to refine his leadership style felt insincere and that he did not wish to mold himself to fit a specific methodology. He feels like he has an effective style that takes aspects from a few of the different leadership methodologies, and I have to agree with this assessment. Aside from his own style, Casey did go on to say that he had admired transformational methodology because not only do they inspire with their work ethic, but also with their beliefs and communication skills. We went on to discuss the types of power that he has witnessed both as a follower and a leader. The two types that stood out the most were legitimate and coercive powers. Casey stated that in his experience, they were not positive ways of affecting change and driving the desired behaviors. He stated that in our organization, he tries to use informational and referent power. The employees that he supervises are very intelligent and their job tasks require them to be self-motivated. So he couldn't see the other types as being effective ways of managing highly paid project managers. As followers, we were subjected to marginal and poor leadership at times, and Casey shared his take and what he felt bad leaders will often be very defensive and constantly remind others of their position. He went on to say he has worked for people who clearly did not have much technical knowledge, but they would have tried to portray themselves as technical experts. The problem is that the employees who were technical experts could see through these attempts, and it created a situation where there was a lack of respect for the leader because they did not have the necessary knowledge and were not humble enough to admit it. It showed a lack of respect for the employees since it implied that the leader can fool them with a false appearance of expertise. This action creates an environment where followers lack respect for their leadership and are unwilling to trust in their decision-making, and is a scenario that he avoids at all costs because he relies on the faith of his followers. To avoid these circumstances, Casey tries to be very open with the people in areas where he is not skilled or lacks experience. He has found that people are far more willing to assist somebody who is honest and humble rather than one who attempts to make themselves appear more skilled than they actually are. Casey relies on the feedback from his followers and states that he feels they are comfortable giving him honest feedback, and I fully agree. Casey is highly approachable and rarely comes into a discussion with a preconceived notion. Fear is not a tool in his repertoire. My last line of questioning was regarding his sentiments towards the greater organization of which we are both part and how he fits in. Casey stated that they have made frontline supervisor positions very task-oriented. They overload the supervisors with tasks, but do not give them the resources to properly support the employees. As a result, they have difficult time retaining good managers or continuously filling vacant roles as a result. Currently, there is not a good career path in the company that rewards people professionally or personally. The upper levels of management are typically hired outside of the organization, and growth from within is not promoted beyond the lower levels of management. He stated at this time he would have a hard time recommending leadership to someone seeking a change in their career, but at the same time, he thoroughly enjoys the challenge, working with a wide array of people and departments, and feels a great sense of accomplishment at the end of each day. Casey, to me, has become an exemplary leader that others should seek for advice. His ability to communicate is second to none, and his humility has set the bar for excellence. And that concludes my presentation. Thanks for watching.